Hi, it's Katerina Satori here, and this video I'd love to dedicate to the number one book that I recommend to any person that meets me. Yes, of course, I'm talking about The Gene Keys by incredible mystical writer Richard Rudd. I have one of the first versions of the book. You see, it's kind of worn out, but it's so precious for me because this book came to me, gosh, 8 years ago? No, 6 years ago. 6 years ago, and I just got introduced to human design. And the human design is this body of work that is all about helping you learn about your energy system, your energetic makeup. And it talks about how to make the right decisions in life, how to follow your inner authority, how to navigate this reality by following your inner blueprint. So it's a beautiful transmission. When it found me in 2016, I was absolutely obsessed with studying it. I rarely study anything on the surface. If I am interested in the topic, I'm gonna go deep, deep, deep into it, right? Are you the same? I'm curious to hear. So, after a month of being utterly obsessed with human design, a friend of mine says, Katerina, if you love human design, you're gonna love the Gene Keys. And I said, no, you don't understand. I don't have space in my life for another system. I just discovered human design. And my wise friend says, well, let's do this. What if you just read an introductory chapter of the Gene Keys and see if it just resonates with you? And I said, okay, that's a good compromise. Introductory chapter I can do. Well, imagine what happened next. From the first paragraph, I was enchanted. I felt that it was a sort of a spiritual superfood for my DNA. And finally, I was guided to the wisdom transmission that was deep enough for me, that had this evolutionary message for humanity and where we at the evolutionary cycle. And it was filled with divine feminine wisdom. Whoa, the Gene Keys. I dove in. I dove in like a diver that dives in for the pearls. This was totally my process. My living room turned into a study where I would study the chart, not only my own soul map or hologenetic profile as they call it, but all the friends that I had around, because I was looking for patterns, I was looking for understanding of how it works. Fast forward now, I am one of the teachers of the Gene Keys. This is how interesting life works, right? And until this moment, I have delivered 5 Gene Keys intensive in person, where for 2 days I introduce the whole body of work in a very concise way. And it's been so fulfilling to share this wisdom, because this is an inner exploration about 3 core themes: purpose, partnership, and prosperity. And based on your astrological data, based on the time of your birth, you get this map that's called your hologenetic profile, or a map of these key themes that you're going to encounter in your life. You also get a map of your key gifts and your key shadows. So imagine not just knowing that you have a shadow, that's just general knowledge, but imagine knowing 11 patterns of fear that you are going to encounter in your life. Wouldn't that be such an empowering knowledge? gosh, it is such an empowering knowledge because you can say, wow, when I'm overwhelmed, I go into confusion, I go into deafness, or I go into judgment, right? And it's in your map. And once you see, you cannot unsee. This is the first step to change is awareness, right? So you get this map based on your astrological data. And I love that because astrology is a transpersonal psychology. Astrology comes to us from ancient Egypt. But where did ancient Egyptians receive their profound mystical knowledge? Well, some mystery teachings point to the lost civilization of Atlantis that were incredible uh, wizards, I would say. They were in such deep understanding of our relationship with the planets. And where did they get that understanding? Well, some people would say that from advanced civilizations, star nations, such as Syrian people, Pleiadian people, beings. I'm not gonna call them people, even though sometimes they feel like to me like people. But they're these beings from star nations who've been contacting our planet for many, many centuries, right? And millennia. So, going back to the power of astrology, astrology will call you when your consciousness is ready for it, right? Astrology is an incredible tool. And in ancient times, all the priestesses of the temples, they were incredible astrologers. They knew how to understand the stars. And then we have another aspect of the Gene Keys that I find very curious. It's a modern version of Tao Te Ching, of the I Ching, not the Tao Te Ching, of the I Ching. And the I Ching was this sort of an oracle that was used by Chinese sages to advise Chinese emperors. And it's truly a mysterious origin of the I Ching. People have different theories how it come to us, but it's an ancient knowledge. Some say it's 3,000 years old, but it has 64 hexagrams and 64 ways of understanding this reality. 64 ways of the natural world. So what Richard Rudd, the author of the Gene Keys, what he did, he brought I Ching wisdom back to us, but in a way that a modern reader, a modern seeker of truth can really understand and apply and work with. He brought to life the I Ching in his unique way, and he wrote these 64 chapters. Each chapter corresponds to an I Ching hexagram, and he calls them the Gene Keys. So this is the book of 64 archetypes, 64 aspects of consciousness that you can activate within you. And you can activate new ways of seeing the world, new ways of seeing yourself, and the new ways of stepping into your purpose, bringing more light and compassion into your relationships, and finding a way to unlock your prosperity through your soul calling. Isn't it magical? I can't stop talking about the Gene Keys. That's what I keep teaching. I keep teaching about them. You can learn more by going to Richard Rudd's website called thegenekeys.com. He has incredible courses, incredible books. I highly recommend for you to go deeper with his work. And if you'd like to experience that transmission through me, I lead workshops online and in person on the Gene Keys wisdom. So you can head to my website, www.katerinasatori.com, and just see under events when is the next one. And it would be incredible and amazing to meet you in that learning experience, it's so fun. We just dive into this wisdom with a lot of playfulness, lots of humor, and of course, depth. And you are transformed because it's a living wisdom. You are so deeply transformed by diving into it. And what I find that Gene Keys finds us when our consciousness is ready for it. It's an advanced transmission, but it's so grounded and it's filled with so much divine feminine wisdom. Okay, enough said. Otherwise, I'll be channeling about Gene Keys for another hour, right? So I hope you are inspired to go deeper into this work. Richard Rudd is the person, incredible mystical wizard who brought us this wisdom, and I am so grateful for his dedication to bring this to us in a time of great change.